Next up, we have the Women's Collegiate second varsity, their grand final.
Congratulations, Cal. Coxon, when did you plan on making your move on Stanford there? Seemed like you were level pegging early in the race, but there was one point where you guys really seemed to put your foot on the accelerator. When did you plan to do that?
You had a move that we were ready to go around like, I don't know, 900,000. We just want to break well. It's kind of a support push. You know, we really planned this out a great start, and then just see how fast we go from there. You know, it's early in the season. You know, we have a long way to go. All the guys were real hard. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you for that. Congratulations, Cal.
Next up, race number 75, the Women's Collegiate second varsity grand final. And this is the Jackie Ann Stitt Hungness Trophy run and the grand final in this particular category. And we will check a race start here shortly.
At the starting line, event number 75, Women's Collegiate second varsity 8 grand final. 5 crews sit at the stake boats. USC is just now backing in to stake boat number 1. Lane assignments: lane 1, University of Southern California; lane 2, Stanford University; lane 3, University of Oregon; lane 4, University of Wisconsin; lane 5, Washington State University; lane 6, UCLA.
While Jim Jorgensen is waiting for the call on our first 500 meters for our race coming up, we'll take care of some business here. 2 cars blocking entrance to a trailer parking area, a Toyota 6FFW224 and a Nissan 6LIE880. 2 cars blocking the entrance to trailer parking area. They need to be moved. A Toyota 6FFW224 and a Nissan 6LIE880. We've had some outstanding race completions here in the early going of today's activity, and we'd like to mention that you have an opportunity to stop by the merchandise tent and to pick up a race on a DVD of any particular race that you would like to have. They are available about an hour after the race is completed. So if you have an interest, a loved one, a gift coming up, it might be an excellent opportunity to pick up for a mere $15 a DVD of a particular race at the San Diego Crew Classic. They're available at the merchandise tent by the main entrance.
Just a reminder that the Ballast Point Brewery beer tent is now open, serving Bloody Marys, craft brews, and food and entertainment throughout the day.
Back at the starting line, the aligners flag is up. Still very fair conditions, although there's a whisper of breeze coming from the shore side. The UCLA coxswain over here in lane 6 has her boat pointed towards the shore a bit, anticipating that wind that will blow her down onto the track that should she'll be racing down. Once again in lane 1, USC, 2, Stanford, 3, Washington, 4, Wisconsin, 5, Washington State, and 6, UCLA.
2 minutes.
2 minutes until the start of this race.
Just while we're waiting for that 2 minutes to go by, an official result from the Jessup Whittier Cup, the grand final, win for USC in 6:32, second Stanford 6:35, third Cal 6:37, fourth Wisconsin 6:39, fifth Washington in 6:46, and sixth Washington State in 6:47. Although to be honest with you, that might be a mistake for fifth and sixth places.
There's an amazing sense of calm right before this explosion off the start. All crews sitting in a fractional position, blades squared and buried, waiting for the starter to say, "Attention, go," as well as dropping the red flag. UCLA's coxswain's hands up, now down.
USC.
Lanes
Stanford,
being pulled.
Washington, Wisconsin, Washington State, UCLA.
All hands are down.
Attention. Go.
We have a start. Event number 75, Women's Collegiate Second Varsity 8 Grand Final. Very crisp starts from all 6 crews. 100 meters gone. Right now in lane 1, it's USC. The slight advantage over Washington in lane 3. In the pressure cooker in between is Stanford. But right now it's Washington just squeaking out a little bit over USC. UCLA out here in lane 6 is also in the hunt. Wisconsin in lane 4 and Washington State just a bit off the pace. But right now it's Washington, Southern California, UCLA, and Stanford University in that order. The Bruins here in lane 6 making a big push to stay in the hunt, but it's Washington with 2 seats over USC. And then Stanford is 1 seat behind and UCLA a seat behind that. We're approaching the 500-meter mark, and it's the Huskies from the University of Washington, then Stanford, then USC, UCLA, Wisconsin, and Washington State University in that order.
The Women's Collegiate Second Varsity Grand Final. The Hungness Trophy is being competed for here. And lane assignments quickly. University of Southern California, USC in lane number 1. Stanford in lane 2, our current leader. University of Washington is in lane 3. Wisconsin rose out of lane 4. In lane 5, it's Washington State and UCLA in lane number 6.
And we're starting to see, after the first 500, the sort of separation that the heat times suggested from yesterday. USC, Stanford and Washington all won their heats in very comparable times, and we're going to see a big race between those 3 and also between Wisconsin, Washington State and UCLA. These, of course, are JV boats, the second varsity of each program. These guys get mad because they spend all their time in practice getting beat up by their varsity boats, or trying not to get beat up by their varsity boats. So when they get to race each other, they are intense. They got something to prove. And it seems to be the University of Washington who are establishing a lead at this point.
Stanford has run into a little bit of a problem on their lane situation. They bore out to the western buoys.
Got to stop.
And got a couple of crews on the outside coming very close to bumping into one another.
UCLA have stopped.
UCLA on the far outside.
Didn't see what caused that, but UCLA
looked to me like they may have dropped in on the lane number 5 Washington State. And now they've begun to pick up the stroke once again. Stanford experienced some problems at the 1,000-meter mark as they got diagonal to their lane, and now they've straightened things out and have gone diagonally to the opposite side. So Stanford having some trouble coming down the course in a serpentine manner. On the lead, it appears to be Washington in lane number 2. And I think I have misidentified the crew that got in trouble. It was USC serpentining. They are in lane number 1. Stanford almost got contacted as USC came out towards the eastern barrier of their lane. And we had a contact between UCLA now back in the race, but they were dead stopped in the water for a while. On the lead continues to be Washington, Stanford to their shore side, and surprisingly enough, without regard to their miscalculation and serpentine movement right around the 1,000-meter mark, University of Southern California seems to be back in it as well. We'll take a look at what caused the collision a little bit later on, but right now, Washington is on the lead. And surprisingly, USC is battling for a second position. Outside of Washington is Wisconsin, taking advantage of the deviation that SC had. And then comes Stanford. Then to the far outside, we're going to go to Wisconsin. Farther outside, Washington State and UCLA.
It's always very unsettling to have a crew in an adjoining lane move over on you. Those maneuvers by University of Southern California may have upset Stanford, but Washington are taking advantage of no impediments, no pressure from crews in outside lanes, and they've just been able to power their way through the middle of the race. Wisconsin are holding on to them on the outside, and Stanford are trying to come back into the race, challenged by University of Southern California.
Washington, our clear-cut leader right now, as they stayed away from problems, but Stanford has begun to ratchet it up, and they are making a move along the shoreline, as is Wisconsin on the outside shoulder of Washington, but it may be too little too late. It is Washington, Stanford, Wisconsin, SC, Washington State, and UCLA trailing. This is Washington, open water back to Stanford University. And then Wisconsin being tracked by Southern Cal. Southern Cal on the move along the shoreline, but Washington is still our current leader. On their outside shoulder, check that on the inside shoulder, Stanford in lane number 2. And USC is making a hard move on Wisconsin on the outside. Washington State and UCLA. Watching Stanford check that Washington cross the finish line. And then we are working on the crew from the inside Stanford and USC, then farther outside to Wisconsin being taken over by USC. Washington and UCLA out of it as we take a look from behind our crews.
And it looked as though the University of California just stopped.
Apparently there was not a collision. They slowed down and stopped for what reason we're not exactly sure. Coxon had their hand in the water, and it's still not definitive as to what occurred. Maybe we can see it from this angle.
It seemed like the UCLA had the lead on Washington State, and then just looked like it might have been a steering problem, because they seemed to come to a stop, drift into Washington State's lane, and Washington State had contact with them as they went round them. But a good win there for the University of Washington. That was an impressive performance.
A look at our Washington crew, and then the overview of our spectator area around the Jumbotron screen that we have at the 2011 San Diego Crew Classic. Next up will be race number 76. This is the men's collegiate second varsity grand final, and a race sponsored by the Sharp Cabrillo Cup, Sharp Cabrillo Hospital, and that will be coming up shortly.
The Aligners flag is up for event number 76, men's collegiate second varsity 8 grand final. Lane 1,